Hello, everyone. So I wanted to show you how we shared our self-paced PD with our teachers. We have it on the website, the Tech Tools for Teachers. We put this together because we had our teachers had friends who were like, "Hey, what are you guys doing? Can we see more?" So we put this together with all of our, not all, but most of our courses that we have. But we put it also for our teachers in our protected LMS. So let me go to lower school faculty members. We have it separated by if you're what kind of teacher you are. If you're in ECE, if you're in lower school, which is K to 5, if you're a Hebrew teacher in lower school, or if you are in upper school, because we service everyone. So here is our page. We would keep updating the news here as things changed. We had office hours with the teachers, with the teacher leaders who were working, so you could make an appointment with us if you would like. We have a checklist that we made so they could just check it off. They could print it off and check it off if they wanted. As they were completing each of the tools, there's an assessment summary. It's a Google Doc where we put in, they had to make a copy for themselves and then they would share it with us so we could review anything that they had questions about. We put the tools in here. They would write their summary, and then we had login information. I filled that part in for them so they didn't have to worry about that. I didn't have to, research it and find it. So that is the assessment summaries that they would complete as they were working. We had a leaderboard that we would publish that had our different schools. So ECE, lower school Hebrew, upper, and then the admin. How many courses, how many people had completed each one of the courses, and then how many people had finished all of them, just as a way to encourage participation, a little competition. The teacher leaders who are doing this, we like a little competition, little bragging rights. I had a video here that gave them a tour of what I'm giving you a tour of right now so that they could easily find what they were looking for. So that was our homepage. And then when you go to topics, you see each of the tools that we were asking them to take a look at. We said, hey, you're not going to be using all of these in class every day. Maybe you figure out 2 or 3 of them that you're going to use. We just want you to take a look at them and get to know them. So what we created, both I and some of our other teacher leaders and admin worked on creating classes. So with Nearpod, for example, what is Nearpod? We have Nearpod 101. After the course, this is what you should be able to do. This is an overview of what you're going to do. So there's part 1. Here's the article that they're going to read. Then they post about it here on the Padlet. And then they complete this Nearpod activity below here. It's just basically a Nearpod on Nearpod. It tells you all the different things that you can do on Nearpod. Of course, Nearpod has updated, so there's even more now. And then part 3 is their assessment. So in order to get their certificate and their badge for Nearpod 101, then they had to go into Nearpod, find a pre-made lesson and edit it a little bit to make it their own, and then post it to the Padlet. And once they did that, they got a certificate and a badge that said, I've completed Nearpod 101. And our teachers really, I'm like, hey, I didn't get my badge yet. I'm like, hey, there's one of me and 200 of you. Give me a minute. I'm trying to get it to you. And then we had Nearpod 201, which they went a little bit more in depth. We required 101 for all of our teachers. If they wanted to learn more, if they liked the tool and wanted to know more, then they could go on to 201, and we even have 301s. With 201, their end goal is to know why they would choose Nearpod and as a tool, and also to make their own lesson. So I taught them how to look at reports, how to create your own lesson. And then for 301, we put in there the Nearpod Certified Educator Program. If you become a Nearpod Certified Educator, you get 6 months of free. We already bought it for our school, but So that's what we put in for Nearpod 301. We put industry certifications for if they were available. We use that for 301. For Screencastify, their course itself is so amazing and it's free. And I learned so much by going through the courses myself. I was like, there's no way I'm redoing this. We're just using their courses with NEF and 101. Was just tremendous. So that's what they had to do was they completed the Screencastify as a 1-hour course. And then there's a 201 where you can combine Google Tools and Screencastify. So that was available. If they wanted to learn more, then we were, very happy to get more resources for them or teach them how to find them. Google 101 and 201 are based on Google level 1 certification and Google level 2 certifications. I've done level 1 and I've studied for level 2, but I never went ahead and did the the test itself. So here's what we have for Google 101. They had Drive and Docs, and most of our teachers have been using Google stuff. So some of them just skimmed through the materials and just did the assessment part quick, easy, no problems. So here's what they were, the requirements were for 101. And here were some resource materials, just some things to play around with to figure out how to do it. And then their assessment was here. They had to complete the task there. Same thing with slides and with forms and sheets and with calendar and Gmail. And the biggest thing about our Gmail that we kept saying was no reply all. Please, no reply all. Let me click on one of the I'll do the assessments here. So when you click on the assessment, it gives you a step-by-step guide for what you are supposed to do. For this assessment, for this one, they're creating a Google Slides of animals in South Florida. Now, if they came up with a different topic that they wanted to do that would work in their class, then that was fine. But we just did a general one for animals of South Florida, and then they put in, a YouTube link, or they put in text, or they put in a table and pictures. And so it was just a way to get them practicing with this, because some of our teachers haven't done it before, and some of them have. So again, if they wanted to create something to use in their class and they had a topic in mind, they could do that, or they could use our general topic of animals of South Florida. And then we have Edulastic. We have Zoom, and we have been using Zoom. This was our summer PD, but we have been using Zoom. When we went out in March, we started using Zoom, but there were still some features that people didn't play with and didn't realize that were there, because it was a, jumping, let's go kind of thing. And we didn't have time to experiment and play a lot. So we have a Zoom 101 and 201 activity, so they can learn how to use the polls, and they can learn how to use different things that are available. And of course, there's new things now with breakout rooms being self-selected if you wanted to use that. so there are different things that we could update with, but we just haven't updated anything yet. Flipgrid is one of the tools that we really love at our school, and we push a lot. And we've actually had people using it from our ECE all the way through our 12th grade. So we appreciate Flipgrid. We love what they have. Of course, Flipgrid updated in August after we made these. So there are some updated things as well. But when you click on Flipgrid to go in, there's a video, the upgraded one, just because, people were asking. So I went ahead and did that as well. But here are the course overview and what you'll be able to do after you finish this part of the course. And then we put the lesson on Nearpod, because we really do love Nearpod and we purchased it. So we wanted, a lot of our lessons are on Nearpod because we wanted teachers to experience it as a student and see what was available. So we have a Flipgrid 101 lesson, and then we have Flipgrid 201 as well. That is also on the Nearpod. Okay. And we had teachers create accounts as their assessment and put in their first topic and things like that, just to practice. Social Studies Weekly was something we were doing new with our social studies in lower school. So we added that as well. Panopto is a recording program that we use along with our Zoom. So we needed our teachers to learn about how that worked. Cami is a great tool that you can write on PDFs with. And it became such a big hit with one of our teachers. He's phenomenal, one of our rabbis. And he's like, hey, I want to do it all. And we only have the free teacher version. What can we do about that? So I was like, hey, if we're going to buy anything, if we can get one for him, just get one license for him and let him go with it. Padlet's another tool that we were using way before we went out for home-based learning. We've used Padlet for years and we love it. So we had new teachers who were in middle school and upper school who hadn't used it like we have used it in lower school. So we have a little some courses for them as well, just to learn about how to use it, and some of the tools that even the teachers who had used it for a while didn't realize were there, like the timeline, which our PE coach used quite a bit. He created workouts and put them on the timeline so kids could go through and pick out the workout they wanted to do that day. Brain Pop was something we have used off and on, and we wanted people to know more about it, so we created a course for that. Vocabulary, again, we use it with Nearpod as well. We have both accounts. Zern is one of our math programs that was available for teachers to use if they wanted to. Khan Academy, again, available if teachers wanted to use it. Calendly, we used to make appointments when we're doing home-based learning. Parents made appointments with teachers through Calendly. Students made appointments with teachers. And they continue to use that even though we're back in school, sort of, kind of, almost all the way back in school right now. They continue to use Calendly. And here are some other programs that we use to support our math or our reading programs. And then this is a training session on our eHello website for parents for teachers to either refresh themselves or to learn for some of our new teachers. And then we put some additional tools like Kahoot and Quizlet and things like that they might want to review. And then we had a congratulations board for the people who had finished different programs and gotten certificates. And when they finished the whole thing, they got their name put into the congratulations board. And again, I would get messages, where's my name not on there? I'm checking as fast as I can. We used Canva to make the certificates. And then I would just go in and I made all the certificates and I would just go in and put the person's name and email it to them. We use Google Drawing to make badges. And I'm going to put some of that onto my website so you can see what they look like as well. So that's the tour of where we put it. And teachers would, in different divisions, they had different people that they reported to for different activities. And then we had a general sheets program that the people who were the teacher leaders and the administrators would go in and mark off who had completed what, so that I would know who to send the links to. And so their administrator would know that they had completed the work. And this was summer into the fall that we did this. We put it out and said, you don't have to work on it yet, but if you want to start working on it, you can. And overwhelmingly, people were saying, yeah, let me try this out. Let me figure out what's going to work best. And then we had a date that that the certain things had to be completed by. That administrators would then go in and look and say, hey, I noticed you haven't finished your Google 101. Can you make sure you submit your materials? And then we also have little, we are lions. It's our school mascot is a lion. So we had little lions that we sent out to the people who finished early to say thank you for working and getting their work done. Some of them finished way before school started back because they were just excited and wanted to make sure that they were able to build their classrooms the way that they wanted to, because we started back online and then moved slowly into in-person classes. So that's where we keep it on our school webpage. And then, as I said, we also created it on a Google site because our teachers wanted to be able to share it with their friends who were asking, what are you guys doing? How are you guys doing it? So this is the site that we created. And we have, like, if you click on Nearpod here, you'll see the Nearpod 101, the 201, and then the deep dive. After school started, we had teachers who came back and said, hey, I want to know more about So I sent out a survey and said, what do you want to know more about? And the topics that they picked, then we did a deep dive. And it was basically 30 minutes after school with me or during school, depending on, I set it up both during school and after school. So teachers could come whenever they had a free time. And I also recorded it so I shared it with them afterwards too. And like, here's the deep dive video for Nearpod. And then I gave them more resources to figure out how to use Nearpod in their class. With Zoom, here's the 101 and 201. We didn't do a deep dive on Zoom. Everyone felt pretty good about what they were doing. Screencastify. Here's more about Screencastify. And then just not every tool. Like we didn't put BrainPop on here. We didn't put other things because they had our school's particular information on it. But we did put out all of these, and then we put in the game-based. We put in some information about HyperDocs, some helpful tools, and then putting into practice. So not just here are the tools, but here's some pedagogy and here's some learning from other people about how to put what you've now learned into practice. And so that's how we set it up for our teachers to be self-paced and for them to be able to find more information if they were looking for it. So thank you for watching.